saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women, that it's better to be single, guys.
Can we talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy? One, when you say, I want a divorce, and he's like, no, I want to work this out. Everything's going to be fine.
What happened to happy wife, happy life?
So, a hyena asked me, girl, if you think we are the hyenas in the Western world, what do you call those passport bros, huh? Well, obviously, they are the victims of the hyenas.
You know, you leveled up when you used to be with a man that made you pay half on Plan Bs, and now you're with a man that just pays for it fully. Period. Girl breakfast. And it matches my... It's pink, because I'm just a girl. Everything pink.
You need help.
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women, that it's better to be single, guys. They're almost like happy about the fact that they're gonna make the choice to avoid the entire gender of women because they have yet to actually resolve the war they have within themselves.
It is not because they're fighting a war within themselves. It is because they found peace with themselves. And she was so close. She was just so close to getting there because at least she's recognizing what men are saying. Because they're tired of the complaining, the double standards, the expectations, and the risk of losing everything that they've built. There is no unresolved internal war going on in these men. He just found peace and contentment on his own instead of using that energy and effort on someone else.
You know, Samuel, for some men, it's not just the dating scene that's rough, it's the emotional trauma that comes with it.
Oh, you mean the constant feeling of not being enough? Like, congrats, you've unlocked the level where nothing you do will ever be appreciated.
But babe, I thought you liked putting my needs first all the time, and of course, what do you get in return? A pat on the back. If you're lucky.
Or worse, complete indifference. It's like, oh, thanks for being selfless. Now what's for dinner? Yeah, and men are out here emotionally exhausted, carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders, while getting little to no reciprocity. It's not just about feeling unappreciated, it's the slow burn of being taken for granted every single day.
Yep, and after a while it's like, why even bother? Men are tired of always being the ones who sacrifice, always putting her first while their own needs get pushed to the back burner.
Right. And the moment men realize that, the whole dynamic shifts. And trust me, that's when things get interesting.
If you've been wondering where are all the good men, I actually have some homework for you. Start to find and pay attention to the qualities that you love in the men who are around you. The men you know, the men you don't know, the guy at the grocery store who asks to help carry your stuff out to your car. Because when you say, where are all the good men, I already know that you are in a pattern of looking for negative qualities in men. And you're finding them. So start looking for the good men and you will find them.
I do choose to go on a date, I want you to feed me. I don't want to just go for drinks. And I feel like a lot of people will say like a coffee date or like, let's just go for drinks and like see if we vibe and then let's do dinner the next time. I see that as like, you're cheap. No, let's go to dinner. Let me see the way you order. Let's see your mannerisms. Let's see the vibes. You're going to order one dessert or two desserts. Let's see how generous you are. And I don't know, like, I feel like already when you're going on a date, you're taking a risk. So, like, if you're not willing to, like, take the risk and feed me and you're only, like, down to take me for drinks, I find that weird. Like, I'm not into that.
You know, Mark, for some of these women, dating isn't about finding love. It's like running a science experiment.
Oh yeah, the let's see how many free meals I can rack up this week experiment.
Right? They forget the whole point of dating. It's not about connection anymore, just another excuse for fancy drinks and a free dinner.
Exactly. And what's the harm, right? Going out 2 or 3 times a week. Oh wait, except it does cost money. A lot of it.
Doesn't matter if you're pulling 6 figures or not, it still adds up. And meanwhile, she's just sitting there, eating like she's in a food competition, without a thought about contributing.
Oh, you want me to chip in? I thought you wanted to show me how generous you are.
Right. The moment you hear, show me how generous you are, you know you're about to be judged by your wallet, not your personality.
Yup, she's sizing you up by how much you drop on the bill. And if you're not spending big, forget it, you're done.
But of course, she's totally interested in you, right? Not just the fact that it's a free meal ticket.
Yeah, sure. The second you ask her about her intentions, she's like, oh, I'm just seeing where things go. Translation, I'm just seeing how much I can milk this.
Okay, so we've all heard of passport bros at this point, right? I think it's time we start passport sisters. And like, hear me out. Please repost this, share this, whatever. I think women should start leaving. Like, if men really don't want us that bad out here, like, it's pretty bad. Have you looked at any of the posts?
Dating experience in Korea hasn't been so great. And I learned kind of the hard way, Korean people don't really like Black women so much. So I've tried to use a lot of Korean dating apps, and I used a lot of American dating apps, Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, etc., etc. And usually Korean people, if I use a Korean app, I get a lot of negative responses, and Korean people have told me I shouldn't be on the app, and they're not looking for people my color, things like that.
Why is it that Italians hate blacks? Like, some of Italians hate blacks. They don't like blacks. Can that be true? I don't get it. Like, they don't like blacks. Almost 15 years in this country, I would say I have a little bit of experience. You know, I know what I am really saying. Why some Italians don't like we foreigners? Can that be true? Yes, that can be true. They don't like blacks. Not all of them, don't get me wrong. Some of them love blacks. They love us. Why most of them, they don't want to see us.
Maybe that's your experience, but not ours. Passport Bros.
You know, Mark, I really don't get it. Why do these women think they can compete with men? It's like they're playing a game they don't even understand.
Compete? With what? Men aren't looking for competition in relationships. That's why passport bros exist in the first place.
Exactly. Men are out here looking for traditional wives, women who bring peace, respect, and partnership. But what do we get instead? The passport sisters trying to prove they can do what men do, as if this is some kind of contest.
Yeah, 'cause nothing says healthy relationship like competing over who can one-up the other. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work that way.
Look at me. I can do what men do well, congratulations. But here's the thing, we're not the same. Men and women want completely different things in relationships. It's not a race to see who can outdo the other.
If women actually listened to men and understood what we want, maybe, just maybe, men wouldn't feel the need to fly out to other countries to find a wife.
Right? It's not rocket science. The reasons men are leaving? Delusional expectations and ridiculous demands. I mean, some of these women come with a list of requirements longer than a CVS receipt.
Financial stability, emotional support, and of course a luxury lifestyle. All of that, but they can't provide it for themselves.
That's the kicker. They expect a man to be the full package, stable, supportive, rich, but when it comes to holding themselves to the same standard, crickets.
Oh, but they've got one thing: entitlement. That's the one thing they can bring to the table.
Look at this article I found today. The dangerous rise of men who won't date woke women. Pathetic. I know you probably can't tell, but I'm quite woke and very alert to social injustice. Woke discrimination in dating should not be tolerated. Also, who wouldn't want this? I mean, look at these bangs. They're perfect. Come to think of it, I've been single for the past 10 years, ever since I started free bleeding in women's marches. But what kind of man doesn't love that level of confidence? I don't even have that many dating requirements. I mean, he has to be a vegan, obviously, and he must have his pronouns in his bio. He must provide proof of vaccination and all his boosters, and he must wear an N95 mask or equivalent during sex, but forget about condoms because that's what abortion healthcare is for. He needs to be okay with the fact that I don't shave any body hair, but he has to be perfectly manscaped with the body of Chris Hemsworth. He also must be okay with the fact that I wear natural deodorant. It doesn't really work, but at least I don't have aluminum seeping into my skin. And last but not least, he must not like video games or sports. So I don't really know what the problem is. I'm a total catch. Did you ever think that maybe it's your attitude, or maybe it's your irrational list of standards? What do you mean attitude? Also, I don't have to lower my standards for any man or anyone.
There it is, the perfect example. You can spot these types from a mile away. You know exactly what you're walking into before they even open their mouths.
Oh yeah, man, that energy they bring, it's like a flashing neon sign that says, "Here comes trouble."
Entitled, insufferable, and absolutely impossible to deal with. Every conversation feels like you're gearing up for a battle. No man with even an ounce of self-respect would willingly throw himself into that kind of chaos.
It's exhausting, bro. It's like you're signing up for an unpaid internship in how to avoid saying anything offensive.
Right. They think they've got it all figured out, but the reality is, they're just difficult. Plain and simple.
More like impossible. Dealing with them isn't a relationship, it's a full-time chore.
Exactly. It's like, why would any guy with standards choose to put himself through that kind of hell? There's just no winning.
A reason that men make fun of single women.
And what reason would that be?
Whether it be a single mom or someone who's just chosen to never marry. And it's because they feel threatened.
Somehow I doubt that.
The more women who take that route, the less women there will be available to them. And they're afraid of other women looking at those women who are single and being like, oh, like she's actually pretty happy and satisfied, and then following suit.
That's an interesting theory. I'll give one that.
So they make fun of them and try to paint them in a bad light so that that doesn't happen.
That doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
And the reason men want a larger dating pool is not because they actually like women and want to find like their soulmate or someone they love they want to share their life with.
Oh, okay. So what is the reason?
They're afraid of being alone. Well, they are afraid of being alone.
Some perhaps, but a large amount of men are actually perfectly happy being single.
But it's because they don't know how to do things for themselves. They want a wife because they want someone to cook and clean for them and take care of everything and basically be their mother who they can also sleep with.
That's actually not what most men want, but by all means, go on with that narrative.
Nothing makes a man angrier than seeing an older woman who is single and happy. Before men come in my comments like, I am married. I am married to a man. But if you don't want to be alone forever, you're just going to have to step up because women are finally standing up for themselves and asking for more. And that more is what they've always deserved.
Granted, there are some men out there that do seem to enjoy making fun of women that are single. However, whether right or wrong, a lot of those women tend to make it a little bit too easy to do. But I digress. But do bear in mind that there are quite a few men out there that are actually choosing the peace of being single for a lot of the same reasons that women are. But I guess if one is going to worry about men making fun of women that are going to remain single, then I suppose one should keep that same energy for women that make fun of men for doing the very same thing.
Oh man, this theory she's come up with. It's comedy gold. I've never met a guy like the one she's describing, but hey, I guess imagination runs wild.
Yeah, it's pretty ironic though, don't you think? I mean, she's out here saying how happy women are being single, but wait, aren't they the same ones still out here looking for men?
Exactly. Like, hold on, if being single is so fulfilling, why are they still out here swiping, going on dates, and just seeing where it goes?
It's almost like, I don't know, they're trying to convince themselves more than anyone else. Oh, I'm happy without a man, but deep down, we all know they're craving that companionship.
Right? I mean, if you're really content with the single life, shouldn't you be off enjoying it instead of constantly looking for a relationship?
You'd think so. But no, they're still out there, still dating, still going out, still seeking that validation and emotional support.
It's like they're trying to prove something. I don't need a man, but then their actions telling a completely different story.
Oh yeah, they won't admit it, but that void is still there, and they're looking for someone to fill it. Meanwhile, they're saying, I'm living my best single life.
So if you ask 100% of women what they want in a guy, they list 20% of men, sometimes less. So if you want a guy that's over 6 foot, that's only 15% of guys. Mm-hmm. You want him to be good looking, cut it in half. You want him to make money, cut that in half.
Can we talk about how hard it is to leave the good guy? When you say, I want a divorce, and he's like, no, I want to work this out. Everything's going to be fine. You know, we can get through this. And he's so encouraging and everything's just so fucking peachy keen, right? We talk about how I'm manipulated into staying because he's a good guy. He does nothing wrong. Like, the only thing he's guilty of is being lazy and, you know, not putting in effort like we did when we were in the beginning of our relationship, like any other marriage. He doesn't beat me. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't take money from me, but he downplays my emotions. I don't think he fully understands me. And we've talked about this, y'all. This has all been in counseling, but how do you leave the good guy? I'm having like an internal battle right now because like, I want to leave. I want to file divorce papers and I want to freaking run to Maine or something. I mean, am I the crazy one? Am I the crazy one? Because I keep throwing these fits and fighting with him. I look legit crazy because I literally stay in bed all day. A lot of that is because if I don't stay in bed all day, I will nitpick him. And I didn't start doing this until like last year. Like, I don't, because I'm so unhappy with myself that I will nitpick him and tear him apart. So if I stay in bed, I won't be mean. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. And I'm only sharing this because I swear to God, I promise transparency. And I swear to God, I promise the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I am struggling today. But this has been an ongoing struggle for the past like 6 months of my marriage. And I've I've said it here and there in videos, but I've never gotten this raw. I'm tired of marriage counseling. I'm tired of trying. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready for a divorce. I'm exhausted. I'm mentally at my capacity. I feel like I'm stretched thin. I feel like I can't describe it, but I am not okay today.
Man, this guy's not lazy at all. It's hard to show effort when you're dealing with someone who only cares about themselves.
Oh yeah, no one wants to keep pouring energy into a one-sided situation. At this point, the woman just needs to bounce and let that man find someone who actually appreciates him.
It's frustrating to watch, man. I don't get this mindset. Like, why leave the good guy if he's supposedly what you said you wanted?
Oh right, the whole I want a good guy narrative. Until they actually get one. Then all of a sudden it's like, wait, this requires effort on my part too.
Exactly. It's like they don't even know what they want. Or maybe they thought they did until it hit them that they'd have to contribute more than just existing.
The truth is, it's not even about the guy, it's more about their own internal issues. She should have started the video with, I'm just so unhappy with myself.
Bingo. That's exactly what it feels like. It's not that the guy isn't good enough, she's just projecting her own dissatisfaction onto him.
Yup, instead of working on herself, she's blaming him for problems that are clearly rooted in her own unhappiness.
It's textbook self-sabotage, man. Pushing away the one person who actually values her because she's not willing to face her own issues.
And of course, the good guy gets caught in the crossfire. It's like he's the one paying the price for her problems.
Exactly. At the end of the day, the guy's better off. Let her go, man. There's a woman out there who'll actually appreciate the effort.